Hi guys, FPS Man here, and welcome back to the Uninkable Dads podcast. And on today's episode, we'll be going through some deck lists in a different style than normal. And we will bring you a Lorcana story. That's right, we're making our own one. There isn't a story out there, but we'll come up with one. And I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, the founder, the CEO, and the only man that visits the website of 60uninkablecards.com. It's Grandad Glenn.
Hello.
So, as always, we will start our week. How was your week in the ink?
Yeah, it's been good. Experimenting with some different decks.
Was it 60 uninkable cards?
Yeah, 60 uninkable cards. Absolutely. All of them 7 cost and above.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, so it's been fun. Been trying out a few different cards. Certainly found some cards that seem to work quite nicely that maybe I hadn't thought on first look would work really well. Friday night, played Blurple, having trashed a certain Into the Unknown card when we looked at it on the podcast. Then played a deck with 3 of it in. I actually found it.
Was it any good?
It was. It was. I didn't use it all the time, but no, it was. So I kind of missed a couple of tricks when we were talking about it on podcasts. So Into the Unknown is the 3-cost Linkable song in Sapphire Amethyst that allows you to. It's basically the Hades effect. So you put a opposing character into your opponent's inkwell face down exerted, but that character has to be exerted for you to do it, but only 3 costs. So what I kind of missed out on was, first of all, that if you go Popsicle Bell on turn 1, Bell can sing this on turn 2, and also that actually you can sing it on your own character. So if you TPO on turn 2, then if you want to ramp further, you can stick TPO straight into the inkwell and keep ramping. So
what's that end of turn 2 with 4 ink?
Ending
so turn 3 going into 5.
5 ink, yeah.
That's quite strong.
So yeah,
I like it. Yeah. So do you take back the fact you trashed the card and said it was no good?
Yeah, so maybe it is playable, just about, in some circumstances. But no, yeah, I think it's actually going to be quite a powerful card for Blurple.
Nice.
Which I think is looking interestingly placed, actually. Even though I didn't do too well with it on Friday night, I think it needs thinking about exactly what that deck is doing, exactly what cards to run. But I think if it's built well, I think it's got a decent place in the current meta.
Nice. I think we actually have a purple deck that finished quite high coming soon, so we'll share that one, and then you can give us your thoughts on that one. But yeah, it was sounds good. I mean, I didn't have quite as much luck on Friday. I'm saying that I didn't do too bad. I won 2, lost 1, so it wasn't too bad. But this is my last week looking after Litman this week. So I've had her this week, but she's been in nursery 2 days. So that's actually given me some time to play some games on testing, and very quickly realised that the deck I thought was pretty good it doesn't stand up. I played 3 green-purple and got annihilated with it every single time. So I've decided to change. I changed around a few bits. Funny enough, I didn't play any green purple Friday, so changed a few bits around, and now I've got 100% win rate against green purple. So different deck, but different colours, but it seems to be holding up against there. I just need to test it against a few others and see how it goes from there. But it's going all right so far. And then that's unfortunately all the Lorcana I've had time for this week is a bit of testing, and that's about it. So
cool.
Yeah,
I was quite excited by Lily's deck. Friday as well. So she wanted to go. She's been playing Amber Steel, and so I showed her a few of the new cards for Amber Steel and said which way did she want to go with it. Did she want to go more songs heavy? Did she want to go more aggro? She was like,
Yeah.
no, aggro all the way. So we made it slightly more aggro. And I think in one game that she played, I think she had 9 characters out on board at turn 4.
Yeah, brutal. Absolutely
So
brutal.
yeah, that was definitely working. So we've got a couple of
That's
tweaks to make to it, but it looks quite a frightening deck.
yeah. I've got to be honest. I just sort of Millie's deck, and I built it, and then I was like, I might just play this myself. It just looks too good. I'm thinking, what's its downside here? Because I can't really see one. So, but yeah, it's Amber Steel aggro is looking very, very strong. I think we actually have one to look at in a bit as well. So yeah, we'll talk about that one. It is up to you. Okay, so we will jump straight into the flavor text reveal from last week. So the flavor text from last week was, "How dare you arm yourself, scoundrel." Now, I believe you got this right. You said it was Captain Hook, I believe.
Captain Hook, yeah.
So there was a little bit of a twist with this one because it's the only card. Well, there's now another one that I've realised. But at the time, I only realised there was only one card in Lorcana that had 2 flavor texts. And that is because it's the new reprint card. So we have the original on the left and the reprint on the right. And as you can see, they have 2 completely different flavor texts. So yeah, the flavor text from last week was the one on the right. So, but yeah, it's also one of the puppies now has it has a different flavor text as well than that. So
yeah, they reprinted Dalmatian puppy tail wagger.
Technically the same card, but it's got 2 different flavor texts, the old one and the new one. So, but yeah. We'll bring you this week's flavor text later in the episode. Okay, so we're going to bring you some deck lists now. We're going to try and change things up a little bit, and we're actually going to be doing it in a speed style. So we're going to give ourselves 1 minute to talk about the deck, and then Glenn will review. I'll go first. Glenn will then review whether I've basically convinced him to buy the deck. So it's a bit like a sales pitch. So I'm going to try and sell it to him, tell him how good the deck is, all the strong points, and then he can let me know whether he would buy it or not. So, going in first, we have a deck that finished first at the PPG Lorcana £1,000 qualifier event. Now, I believe the deck list that comes next is the one that comes second. And yeah, okay, so 1 minute. Let me get my timer ready. Let's do this.
That's a cheeky way of selling it already. So you put this up as the number, as this came first, and then Glenn, the one you've got next came second. So you know.
Well, you know, it was my idea, so I've got to give myself some advantage, you know. Okay, so with this deck, we have the nice red-blue. So we've got a nice early ramp with Tipo and Cell, the Azurite. We've also got further card draw, and it's really difficult when you're doing it fast. Further deck, like looking for your deck a bit later on in the game with Vision and Develop Your Brain. We've also got How Far for ramp. And then going from there, we also have Goofy for nice early control, Grandma Tyler for a little bit of draw and consistency. Maui is there to take out mainly locations, but it's also there to help out with challenges. And then we have the main trigger on this, which is the Half Shock. The Half Shock will basically bring back your actions and allow you to do them over and over. Sisu and Hades are there as a flex that will help delete aggro pretty much, and anything that goes tool, and then Tamatoa for card draw. So apart from that, there's not much all you could do. Be prep, play 2 McDucks, and win the game. So yeah, 56 seconds, job done. That is hard.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
So,
inside the
what do you
time
reckon?
as well. I mean, this is a powerful deck, right? So this is a strong,
exactly.
powerful deck. I like my control decks, so it does fit my style. But I don't know. I've just not been a fan of the Maui actions style of play.
I've always found
myself,
this is very hit or miss. It's if you get the Maui down and start challenging, you win.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks a very strong deck. It looks a very clean list. As I say,
Hmm.
not quite my full cup of tea. So I think I probably wouldn't play it, but equally wouldn't want to come up, wouldn't want to come up against it.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I think the one for me in this, I've tried to include decks that have got a little bit of spice or a little bit of something different, and for me, it's the Hades and
Mm.
standard and these deck lists, and I quite like it. I do like it. So moving on then. So oh no, hang on, it's not the deck I thought it was. Oh no, it was right away. Okay, there you go. So it was top four. Sorry. So I'll give
Case.
you a quick second to have a look around it while I just describe it to everyone. So we've got an Amber Steel deck. It made the top four of the same event, the PPG Lorcana £1,000 qualifier event. It's very much a more aggro Amber Steel deck. And yeah, so ready when you're.
Yeah, so what we've got here is we've got an aggro amber steel deck, but with some bite. So we've got the traditional sort of start with Cinderella and Storm, but we've got Rhino in here, which is a 1 drop. When you play him, the opposing character gets -1 strength to start the next turn, which can be relevant. But then on two, he can shift into the Floodborn Rhino, which is 4/3 with resist +2 and questing for 2. So that's a real difficult one for your opponent to deal with. You've got your Mr. Smee, your Lawrence, your Goofy, Prince Naveen, you've got Rapunzel, you've got Ariel. These are all 2 questers. So this is an aggressive deck. You're going to gain lore quickly. But you've also got Ariel in there to search for your songs. With Storm, Strength, along came Zeus. You can deal with your opponent's board, allow your characters to keep questing.
And time. It's
Needed
difficult.
a
It is
countdown
difficult.
clock. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I hadn't got to Goofy, but all good.
Well, that is the one flex spicy part. So tell us a bit about Goofy then. What do you reckon?
Yeah, so Goofy's a 4 cost, 3/4 quest for 2. At the end of your turn, you can remove up to 1 damage from each of your other characters, and you ready each character that you remove damage from in that way. So you've got a few big bodies on there that can take a hit, so they can be challenging into things, taking damage, and then Goofy can ready them up at the end of the turn.
No. No, so it's just another way of basically keeping your things alive, isn't it? It's one of those ones of quest ready and keep going, basically. So yeah, it's a very strong deck. Very, very strong deck. It's a bit more song based than most of the aggro ones I've seen. But I do like the Goofy. I think the Goofy's a nice little tech in this and could massively
Yeah.
help. So yeah, again, it was good. So I'd probably inquire into more information. I don't know whether I'd sign the contract on the dot, but I'd definitely inquire more information. So yeah, moving on from there, then we have the Blurple deck. Now this one finished second in the ECS 1.5k cash tournament. So this was a big tournament, and to come second, a Blurple deck has done A, extremely well, and B, it's completely different to what I expected. So I will start the clock. 3, 2, 1. So first of all, we only have one drop outside of Popsicle, which I found mental. But it makes sense in this deck. You just want to ramp. There's no point worrying about one. You just want to get to 2. So on 2, obviously we've got the Tippo and the Sail to get us away from 3 to get us to 4 ink. We're then looking at Genie, Iago. Nice either draw or control, depending on which way you need to go. Into Belle, Elsa, again, a bit of damage there, either whether you're moving or placing. Only 1 Gaston, which I found a bit weird. 3 Tamatoa, 4 Hades, 3 Monstro, which I think is mental. Whether you have enough cards in hand to actually feed this thing, I don't know. Saying that, 4 Finders Keepers, 4 Friends, 4 Popsicles, and 2 McDuck. So I like this. I think it's quite strong, and yeah, I think it could do well. I say it could do well. It's done very well. There you go. 1 minute.
You got the timer to go by, but well
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
But well
I'll
done.
give you the time on the next one.
This is cool. I mean, this is very similar to sort of the deck that I was playing on Friday. I didn't have the Tamatoas in there, and a few slightly different counts. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I think I'd up the Gaston. Saying that, I didn't play Gaston at all in my deck on Friday night, and I did miss it.
Yeah.
That is definitely going back in.
I
So
don't
I'd
know
up the
whether.
Gaston. I'm
Do
not
you
sure what.
reckon the Tamatoa kind of replaces the Gaston because of the card draw instead of looking? The thing is, he goes for free, doesn't he? It just applies so much pressure.
You don't always even see Popsicle though. You know, that is
Well,
you're
I suppose
relying
unless you're hard
solely
mulliganing
on.
it for it.
Yeah, but you're relying.
Hard mulligan for
Yeah, but
that
you can't
ramp.
hard mulligan for it because you have to hit ramp on 2, so you can't be hard mulligan for Popsicle. So
Yeah, but what I mean is obviously if you've got it in your opening hand, you keep it. But otherwise, you're hard mulliganing for ramp anyway. So if you had a Tipo, then you could hard mulligan the other 6 and hope you hit Popsicle.
Yeah,
it's a bit. It'd be interesting to know.
Yeah, if you have your turn 2 ramp, you're trying to look for the other cards that go with it, though.
Or at least the 4 drops. That way you'd
be
can
looking
actually
for your 4s.
utilize.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Obviously, did very well for this person. Something that might be worth testing. Although I haven't got Tamatoas, I'm not buying Tamatoas at the minute, so I will stick Gastons in. I think. But yeah, it's interesting. Effectively, the Magic Broom and the Peter Pan bring this slightly lower down the curve and give you that little bit more control against aggro early on, and the rest of it is then, ramping, getting cards in hand, and doing the stuff that Blurple does with the Elsa Bell, Hades, and Monstro.
Nice.
And I did find Monstro was good. I did find, if the deck runs the way the deck should run, you've got plenty of cards in hand. So that's not
I come
really
across
an issue.
A Blurple deck out online that I was testing, and I had to get rid of it. So I had sacrificed 2. It was 2, might have even been 3 cards to take it out because I couldn't afford for it to sit there because I knew it was going to just challenge back and pretty much board wipe me next turn. So instead of losing all 6 of my characters, I sacrificed 2 or 3 of them to take it out. So, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that it quests for 2 is just it's insane. So, as you say, it can almost clear a board when it comes down and then sit there questing.
Yeah, very nice. So the next one we have up is a deck that comes 6th. Now, this was a 280 player tournament, I believe. So to come 6th has done extremely well. And there's quite a lot of spice in this one. This is a bit different. So I will hold my phone up as the timer for you.
Okay.
So off you go.
So this is spicy. This is control in a different way. And one of the central characters we've got here is the Mulan Elite Archer. And I love seeing this in here because I've been looking for a way to get this to work. But this is a 6 cost, shifts on 5. And when it comes down, if you've shifted it, you get +3. So he's hitting for 5. And when he does damage to a character, you do the same amount of damage to 2 other characters. So it's like a mini board clear, all on its own. The other spice that we've got in here is the Prince Eric, which again, love this. This is a card that I've been trying to get to work as well. So Prince Eric, when he's banished, you may banish chosen characters. So no restrictions on that. The biggest threat that your opponent has on board disappears. And that's whether you challenged in and banished him or they banished him. And then we've got Beacon Undisputed, Be Prepared, and Hypnotic Strength. Plenty of removal.
Yeah, definitely. This is a very, very strong deck. I can see why he did 6th out of 200 players. I I can't think of anything it doesn't answer. The only thing I think it might struggle against is possibly red blue, because there's not that much that Quest for Two here. You've only got Genie and Eric doesn't stick on board. Eric's kind of, you play to banish, don't you? And Mulan. So when you're looking at, you've only got what 6 characters in a 60 card deck. The Quest for Two. So I think red blue is probably the downside to this, of where it's going to struggle. I could be wrong. But
yeah, I guess Maui can get multiple.
yeah, there is a chance of Maui. Yeah, that's the thing. If Maui can pop off,
Though
then
you're not loaded with actions.
But then Maui against red blue, again, they don't normally have many characters down. Once you take out the 1 or 2 they've got, the chances are they're probably going wider with items and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that was the one when I looked at it, I thought that would struggle against red blue, but anything else, aggro, it would eat alive. Amber or Lady and Tramp. Green purple would probably be okay against as well, because it's got enough removal and enough card draw to, withstand the discard. So yeah,
I think if I was going into it, I'd want to go slightly heavier on the Mulan line. I think
just having a one-off does feel a little bit.
Yeah, you could easily forego Cusco to play the 4th 2-drop. And then, there's definitely places you could take the 1 to make another 6-drop Mulan. Take one of the brawls.
It might be one of those ones they only aimed one of them.
It could have been. Could have been. Or it could have been a good decision. I mean, did them very, very well. But I like that. I like that line. I think it's really interesting. And I think if I was going to play it, I'd go a bit more fully into it.
Nice. Okay, so up next we have a whole new Jafar. So I will reset the timer and start. So this is a Jafar built pretty good, to be honest. I mean, I can't really see anything that's not here that you'd want. So you've got Journal Bogs and Diablo for your card draw, and also early game shift Jafar. You've got Smee, Giant Cobra, which you can shift, discard and gain 2 lore. You've got another option for Jafar to shift onto. Then you've got Pete, which is obviously great in these sort of decks. Genie, card draw. Stitch, challenging, card draw. Namari, with this, you've got a chance of having a lot of cards in your discard. This could be slapping for a hell of a lot. Jafar himself, desperate plan to get that card draw. Friends card draw. Whole New World card draw. And Beyond the Horizon card draw. So there's so much card draw in this. If you get Jafar down the transfer escape, they're going to have to answer it that turn. Looking at this, I think the only thing I would change is potentially adding a Pluto. Or 1 minute, 2 seconds. Went slightly over. I had to think of the name of Pluto. So yeah, I think if you had to Pluto, potentially put a bodyguard in here to protect Jafar once off your first quest, because there is a lot of evasive around at the minute. So there's a chance he could get challenged out more than like banished with a song. But apart from that, I mean, it's got enough card draw. I like it.
I like the Stitch. I like the Namari in there. Has it got enough if you don't pull Jafar off?
Potentially. Sure. You've got what?
I guess you've got
Genie, Jafar, Smee, and Giant Cobra.
Yeah.
And Stitch gains a lore every time you challenge as well.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that Stitch in there. So yeah, it's well built. I like Purple Steel. Again, the whole Jafar hasn't overly been my thing, but yeah, I like the fact this isn't all out Jafar.
Yeah, you got.
It looks like you're not just high rolling on. If I get the Jafar, I win. If I don't get the Jafar, I lose. Which is what I didn't kind of like about some of the previous Jafar builds. It felt very much like that. But yeah, this looks a lot more balanced. As I say, I think there's some interesting choices with the Stitch, the Namari, and the Beyond the Horizon, which are bringing something completely new into the deck, which we've not seen before. So, Yeah, I like
Nice.
this. You've sold this one to me. I'd be very interested in giving this a go.
Sounds good. Okay, so up next we have another Jafar build, but it's slightly different. It's
Ooh.
not the whole new world Jafar, it's the illusion Jafar. So I will reset the timer, and away you go.
Okay, so this is a deck. If you want to play a deck with a lot of the new cards in, this is the deck for you. We've got a number of set 8 cards in here. The big bad himself, Jafar, and this is focused around your illusions. So we've got Raja in here, Iago, Treasure Guardian, all illusion characters. They're gonna interact. So Treasure Guardian, where when you play a character, if you've got an illusion character in play, you may draw a card. And the big bad Jafar, during an opponent's turn, whenever one of your illusion characters is banished, you may return that card to your hand. So it's giving you card draw card advantage through the illusion synergy. And then we've got your Calhouns, your Smees, Giant Cobras in here. But we've also got Fazoo, really interesting character. So whenever one of your characters challenges another character,
And
if it's the second challenge in the turn, gain 3 lore. And that is a card that I think last set you and I spoke about. Said it was really interesting. Couldn't quite see where it worked. But especially in this with the illusions, if you've got Jafar down and the illusions are going back into your hand when they're banished anyway, you can be sticking challenges in all over the shop and then gaining 3 lore from Fazoo.
nice. Yeah, I like it. I think it's good. I think it's a good fun deck. Looks like the person who built it obviously had some fun when they built this, and yeah. So that is the deck list, but unfortunately, it's now Lorcana Confessions time. So, do you recognise this deck?
Oh, is this the one we did when we tweaked the starter decks?
So this is the starter deck.
There you go.
So this was the tweak starter deck. This was your deck. So yeah, you did well. You obviously
Didn't
liked it.
trash it, hey.
And I'm happy because you also rated and went happy along with my Jafar deck that I built. So the other decks all were from high end tournament plays. I just wanted to throw a couple of sneaky ones in there, and you said you'd rate this and you liked it, so I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that. A sneaky one, I got that in there. But yeah, these decks all were from tournaments, and they did do very well. So they are 4 very strong decks that, you know, by all means anyone could try out and do really well with. The reason I picked these ones as well is there's 3 here that potentially could these be the 3 world decks. So we've got Blurple, Amber Steel, Red Blue. So you can't use Blurple and Red Blue, but so potentially got 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
We may see some of these. If you're going to play this, then you'd have to play green, purple, which again is another very strong deck at the minute anyway.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. We're 2 weeks away from Worlds now. So yeah, this could be interesting. We could be seeing something very similar to these at Worlds and see what the Worlds champs can come up with. But yeah, I like them. There was something a bit different in them and a little bit of spice in them. So
yeah. Do we have anything big coming up between now and Worlds? There's the Axion event in the UK,
yes,
right?
so Axion is next weekend. So this should release this weekend, Friday-ish. So the following weekend. So whenever you're watching this, it'll be the following weekend. I think it's the 21st, 22nd. Let me open my calendar. Yes, 21st, 22nd is Axion, which is going to be the next biggest one in the UK. Yeah. Don't know about abroad. There may be some in US, there may be some elsewhere. But as far as I'm aware, it's the next biggest one in the UK. So obviously we had the UK Games Expo just gone, didn't we? So that was the biggest one up to date. And then we have obviously Axion next weekend. So which I am not prepared for at all. Yeah, it's funny. My deck run 4B prepared, and I am definitely not prepared.
Not prepared.
And I'm definitely not running that deck.
Have you got a list settled or
50-50 at the
not as yet?
minute. It's doing all right at the minute. I need to test it against some different things to make sure it stands. But at the minute, it seems okay. So we shall see. We shall see.
Awesome. Well, you can go away and win Axion and then come back and we'll review your deck.
Yeah, well, that's the dream. That's the dream. So, but yeah, so leading on from there, then, as we were trying something new with the deck list, we thought we'd also bring you the Lorcana story from the Uninkable Dad side. So we have 6 characters here, and we're going to give the characters some sort of backstory, and then we're basically going to use AI to create us a short story. So we picked 6 characters. They're all a little bit random. I wanted to go for something different, not just the main ones or cards that are definitely seeing play at the minute. We wanted to see something that was a bit different. So,
and yeah, and while we're going through this, and we're going to give them a bit of a backstory, do join in with us, help us out, pop what you think in the comments, and we'll review the comments as well as our suggestions, and you might give a tweak, a twist, a bit of spice to the story for us. So do drop your ideas in the comments whilst we're going along as well.
Definitely. So the first up, we have Hades. Now, ignore what it says on the card. We're going to pick our own. So is he a hero or a villain in our story, do you think?
I think I'll stick with Hades being a villain. I think he's misunderstood, but I think he's still...
Should maybe go for anti-villain then? So
Could be an
he's a
anti-villain.
villain, but he wants to help. So we'll go with an anti-villain for Hades. So he tries. He does his best. And then we're going to put a little bit of challenge in for AI here, but we're basically going to decide what type of deck Hades would play. And from that, then it will pick up can't say that. It'll pick up
characteristics.
That's the one. Don't know why I can't say that.
Or Calhoun's or Callahan's.
Yeah.
Anything beginning with C.
Yeah, that's it. If it begins with C, I'll probably struggle with it. And we'll basically build the story for us from there. So, if Hades was a Lorcana player, what deck do you reckon Hades would be running? This version of Hades as well. Yeah, so that evil look, not the blue Hades, none of that. This Hades.
Yeah, very calculated. Look, I think it's control.
He's got to be control, isn't he? So he's either got to be red or steel, and then
probably steel. I think he'd enjoy the zapping people.
That's true. Maybe blue. Is he a blue steel player? Does he like to sit back and wait for his opportune moment?
Yeah, I think so. I think that about him is he's sit there, use his anti-villain status to lull you into a false sense of security, and then
honestly
zap you.
Okay. And then each character we are going to give a tagline. So what would they say in our story? There needs to be a word or phrase that they're going to be saying for it. I reckon instead of along came Zeus, it would just be, and then along came who?
Okay, yeah. I like that one. But if you think you can do better than FPS Madness, then do drop us your thoughts in the comments.
It's not going to be odd. So the next character we have is Mickey Mouse Wayward Sorcerer. So, I mean, do we stick him down as a villain here?
This is Disney. That's sacrilege.
It is, but,
If anyone's watching from Ravensburger, he didn't say that. Honestly.
You can make a villain Mickey. He could be Flopball.
You could make a villain Mickey.
Or Jafar's put a spell on him. He's been hypnotised by Jafar. He thinks he's a villain, but secretly he's a hero. So he's an anti-hero. No,
Oh,
no.
this is Mickey
Obviously,
Mouse.
Mickey's
No,
got
he's
to
got
be
to
the
be.
hero. He's
Got
got
to be the hero.
There's probably some sort of lawsuit if we call him a villain. So,
Yeah, never getting a card reveal, that's for sure.
so then the deck type for Mickey Mouse. What are we going with here? I mean, he looks. It's got to be Amethyst, right? I mean, just look at him.
Yeah,
He's screaming Amethyst. So, what are we pairing with that?
I think it's got to be something. I think it's got to be Emerald, doesn't it? Emerald Amethyst.
Could it be
It's got to
Emerald?
be
Is it going to be
something.
Amber? Is this like? Is he going to flood? You know, is it a
Oh,
bit
okay.
like he's going to just.
Gonna bring all his mates.
Yeah, that's it. It's a bit
Come
like
at you
aggro.
as
It's going to be an
an
Amethyst
army.
amber aggro, just like flood everything with brooms. It'd be like a puppy's deck, but
Yeah,
with brooms.
yeah. And then with the with the Monstro OTK at the end.
Yeah, that's it. 20 cards in hand, and Monstro just annihilates everything. Okay. So we're starting to build a picture here. So far we've got Mickey Mouse and his brooms versus Hades. Who else is
We've got to
joining
get
them?
tagline, haven't we?
Oh, sorry, yes.
Tagline for Mickey Mouse. Oh.
Again, might need to be careful with. Tagline for Mickey. I will save you, Minnie. Nah. Too generic. We need something different.
Something a little bit
Oh,
Disney,
he's
I
a
think.
sorcerer.
Little bit twee. He is a sorcerer, but something to do with friends and strength in numbers or something.
I like it. I like what you think.
This is where we need ChatGPT to come up with the lines for us, or you in the comments.
We'll come back.
Yeah.
We're stuck on Mickey Mouse's tagline. Maybe. Oh, hang on a minute. There's someone in the corner. Say that again.
You will see me real soon. Oh, thanks for stopping by. That's his two most famous quotes.
We'll see you soon, or thanks for stopping by. Apparently, is two main quotes. What about we'll see you soon with an evil laugh at the end?
See you real soon.
See you real
This
soon.
would be said in like a really like sadistic way of like I'm gonna get you kind of thing.
Yeah. So an evil laugh.
Yeah. See ya. YA. Sorry, I shouldn't be talking.
You're all good. Yeah, we'll go see you real soon with an evil laugh. So, moving on from there, then we've got Mickey versus Hades so far, and we have Ursula. Now, this one I wasn't sure on. She's power hungry. Do we have a villain versus villain here? And she's trying to also chip in, or is Hades and Ursula working together?
Thing.
I don't see them ever working
I don't
together.
think Ursula's sharing. Yeah, I don't think Ursula's sharing power.
No.
I think she's a bit of a lone.
It even
player.
says, she is power hungry, so she's never going to be giving anything up. And then for Ursula, I mean, to me, this screams Ruby Amethyst, right? It's control everything. I want everything. I want all the cards. I want.
Yeah, I can absolutely see that. I was thinking Emerald Amethyst, purely because I'm thinking she's pretty tricky.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Emerald's got some of those little tricks, setting up little traps for people, but yeah, I can see both. I can see.
Okay,
I can definitely
we'll put
see
down
the
both for
control
now,
as well.
and then we can decide in just in case one of the others decides to steal it. So we'll go Ruby Amethyst / Emerald Amethyst for now, and we'll come back to it all. So Ursula's tagline.
I've got one.
Oh,
you go. So the whole poor unfortunate souls thing. So I help. I'm thinking the Hades kind of wanting to help, but I'm not wanting to help. So I help poor unfortunate souls to suffer.
Yeah, nice. So, also joining is Mickey. Can I have any friends to help him out? we have Robin Hood, capable fighter. Now this has got to be a hero, isn't it? He's got to be teaming up with Mickey here. But then
He's got to, because we need a balance. I'd love to have made him
we've got
a villain, to be honest.
Two more
But
cards. There's 2 more. There's 6 in total. So, see, I would see him as like a wayward. He's not either. He's not a hero. He's not a villain. He just sticks to the side and takes the spoils.
could he be an ally then for Hades?
An ally
Or
for
Ursula.
whoever's winning.
Yeah, to be mercenary.
Okay. And then the deck type of Robin. If you're an ally of whoever's winning, you got to be able to bring something to the fight, right? You got to be able to help. So, is this blurple? Do you have that card draw of purple and the ramp of blue to be able to, you know?
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, we'll stick him down as blurple for now. Okay, and Robin's tagline: he shoots, he scores. Oh, I don't know. This is difficult. Who needs friends when you got arrows?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, we're down to our last 2 here. So, is Mickey going to get a friend? Elsa. Okay. I can see Mickey and Elsa team up here. You know, they could both do quite well. She can summon some ice. He can summon some brooms. Between them, they can, you know, mop up the floor so it doesn't get icy. You know, it could be good.
Yeah, they can definitely work together. I've always seen the possibility of a villain in Elsa, though.
Okay.
I think it's there. I think it's lurking.
Okay.
You know, obviously she
You wouldn't
she
want
has
to get on
those
the wrong
powers
side
that
of
she can't control. Yeah, and I think, you know, there was that. Always felt like there was that moment when she left Arendelle and went off to her ice palace that she could have just flipped over to the dark side.
Okay.
So there's...
Maybe we'll put her down as an anti-villain then. Put her down as an anti-villain for now. I think that's definitely a possible. There is one more, and I know that one can definitely help Mickey. So, deck type for
Cool.
Elsa.
Deck type. Oh,
What have we not had? What type of style have we not had? We've got blue steel. We've got amethyst, amber, aggro. We've got ruby amethyst / emerald amethyst. So, and we've got purple. So,
purple steel.
yeah, that was
Bit
my first thought, to be
mid-rangey.
honest. That was my first thought. I like it. Purple steel. She comes in, has a bit of control, likes to keep everyone close with loads of card draw. Yeah, nice. And a tagline for Elsa.
I don't know. I'm not going to be the one left out in the cold.
Okay, I like it.
I don't know. It's a bit clunky.
I'm not going to be the one who's cold. Go with that. Okay, last character. Now this has got to help Mickey. You know, we can't leave Mickey on his own. And we have Raya. So I definitely see a hero here. We're giving Mickey some backup. You know, we can't let him attack 2 anti-villains and a villain on his own. And yeah, this feels... I don't know. Is this Ruby Amethyst and then Ursula's going to be Emerald Amethyst?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I like. I like Ursula being Emerald Amethyst. Doing those one of those little tricks in there.
Okay, and then 8.
Is Rare a full control Ruby Amethyst though, or is it
That's a good point.
Maybe a little bit set 8, slightly lower down the curve Ruby Amethyst? No.
You reckon aggro Ruby Amethyst? Possible.
An aggro Ruby Amethyst.
Okay, we'll give that a go. And then the tagline for now, unfortunately, I can't be much help here because I don't know what film she's from.
Disney knowledge. This isn't one of my better ones either, but we're going with Hero.
Yeah,
We're
definitely
helping
Hero.
Mickey out.
Helping Mickey. Oh, she's from Thingy and the Lost Dragon, isn't she? Yeah, I remember what she's from now. Okay.
Oh yeah, she's one girl, one dragon, one last hope.
Don't make me call Sisu.
I like that. I like that. I've got a better tagline for Elsa.
Go on.
We can go back because we've given her the anti-villain status, right?
Yep.
The storm isn't coming. I am the storm.
Nice. So there we go. That is our Uninkable Dad's Disney movie. Well, not movie. Let's not even call it Disney because we're probably going to ruin it. It's probably going to be horrendous. The Uninkable Dad's Lorcana short story special. We'll come up with a better name next episode. But yeah, so we will put all that together and some of your ideas. If you have any ideas, please leave them in the comments because ours is not great.
We need help.
Yeah, give us some
Send
ideas.
help.
A little bit of story you want to add, or something like that. And we're going to basically put all that information in, and we're going to say that in a battle to banishment, because obviously you can't say any other word apart from banishment, who would finish in the top and who would be put to the bottom of the deck. So, who's going to come out on top on this one? Is it going to be the heroes, the villain, the anti-villain, or is Robin just going to take the whole game and win? So, we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, that'll be on next week's episode. Next week's episode, we'll reveal the story and how it goes and the full storyline for you guys. So yeah, like I say,
if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you don't miss next week's episode.
Mm-hmm.
We put an episode out each week, so make sure you subscribe and then come along and see what the story was.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Could be good. Yeah. Should be good. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So going on from there, we will have this week's flavor text game. So as always, we have our flavor text, which is at the bottom of each card, and this week's flavor text is: she's happiest in the company of those she loves. So it is a card that has been in a deck today. It's been on screen at some point. We haven't necessarily massively highlighted the card, but it has been on screen at some point during the episode. So yeah, we'll reveal that at the start of next week's episode. Apart from that, we've just got Lorcana news. We've had a couple of little bits, nothing major this week, but a few little bits from set 9. So we have a picture and an image of the starter deck. So this is what the Fabled starter decks are going to look like. A few confirmed characters here. We've got a Mulan and I believe that's Powerline from Goofy Movie, I believe. I haven't actually seen it. Might have to watch it. A lot of people really rave about it, so I might have to watch it.
So lots of people excited to see the Goofy Movie come to Lorcana, and that's going to be the major franchise in Fabled, isn't it? As we know,
Yeah.
A lot of the Fabled set will be reprints, but the Goofy Movie is the big new edition.
Yeah, and then I believe, you can't see it very well, but I believe he's here on the side, and he's a lot of speculation, a lot of people zooming in to try and see, but we believe he's a 6-cost Singer 9, which is going to be massive for Ruby. That potentially, depending on what gets rotated out, could be extremely good.
So, and isn't that Ariel? So this is where I get it completely wrong. Isn't that Ariel artwork the artwork off the Big Singer?
Yeah,
Ariel that never really saw play. So, have we got
that's
big,
from the Ariel that does see play, isn't it?
I don't think that's the artwork. No, I think that's the artwork.
Let me have a look. I will bring it up. No, because the one that does see play, she's sitting on the rock, isn't she?
I think that's the artwork of one that was a Big Singer. which would lead to the idea that there might be some beefy songs.
Yeah, it is. It's a Singer 7. Yeah, so here it is. We've found it here. So the Aerial Singer 7. So yeah, that's the artwork on the side of the starter deck, definitely. So that's a potential.
So have we got
and
some
confirmed
really
reprint.
beefy songs coming out? Could this be a theme for Fabled? Because
Yeah, because you've got a Singer
haven't had a
7
lot
here
of
and a Singer
new-
9. That's huge.
yeah, we've not had particularly powerful new songs really in the most recent sets, have we?
No. No,
that
there's been a
really
couple of
made an
decent ones,
impact.
but none of them have been massively important as such. So yeah, and then the last bit of news we have is we now have an image for the Enchanted Milan. So, and a confirmed date for Fabled. So the pre-release will be August 29th, everywhere else September the 5th. So a week later. So basically all your hobby stores and all your local game stores will have this on the 29th of August. So yeah, hopefully they sort a little bit more information with pre-release for Fabled. I felt Jafar's pre-release was a little bit left to the stores too much, and some of the stores didn't really bother doing much, and I think it's a bit of a shame. I know some stores go massive with it and they didn't hold light. You go down late and play over through the night, and you can then get your stuff the next day, and different bits. And then you got some that kind of just do a back rush. So it's a bit all over the place, but we've got a couple months.
I think with the pre-release there's a question of how they make it accessible to everyone as well, right? So I'd like to see a full-on draft. I think that's something that a few of us would be interested in. But
I mean, it's the best time to hold draft, isn't it? And start of a set.
That comes with a ticket price, right? If you're doing a 6 or 8 pack draft, that's not going to be the cheapest thing to enter. Versus if you're doing a couple of games of pack rush, obviously, it could be a lower entry price. Don't know, or whether we might. I don't know where we see it for Fable, but whether in the future we might see some kind of actual pre-release kit. I like the gold of her name.
Yeah, I did notice that. That seems to be a new thing. I don't think it's actually the Enchanted, I believe. Is that the sign for the Epic? Not the Epic, sorry. The the Epic, not the Iconic, the Epic. Because that doesn't look like the Enchanted sign to me.
Doesn't. Well, it's the same shape, isn't it? But like different colours.
I'll have to wait and see if that's confirmed. Or that set Enchanteds are all going to have golden text, which could look really nice. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. I'm sure we'll get some more news. The law's golden as well, and as well as this border, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's what they're doing going forward. Well, that is pretty much all we have for you this week. Like I say, I hope you enjoyed the different style. We tried to mix it up a little bit for you, and like I say, please do leave us a comment, hit that like button for us, and if you can subscribe, it'd be a massive help. We are a podcast, not a video channel, so the subscribers do really, really help us. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Is there anything else you want to bring up for this week?
Should really think of something, because you always ask me that everywhere and I don't think of anything. No, we'll just are you on the side of the villains or the heroes? So that's the other thing you got to leave in the comments. Who's going to win? So make sure you get it in the comments, and then we'll see whether you were right next week.
I'm going Robin Hood. I reckon he's gonna sneak in there at last.
He's always going to be on the winning side.
Damn it! You saw my plan. Okay, so with that, we will pack up those playmats. I've forgotten our own outro. We'll pack up the playmat. No.
Roll up the playmats, isn't it?
That's the one. We'll roll up the playmat.
Pack away the dice.
And remember, stay uninkable.
See you next time.
See you next time. God. You can tell it's late. Can't even remember my own outro.
doing today? Listen to the show and learn to play. Whether you are new or you're a pro, I'm sure we have something to show. Amber, green, red, and steel, then purple, blue, complete our wheel. Listen and you'll learn some new strats to help you win some championship mats. So what ink color are you gonna choose? Inkable or uninkable? It is up to you. You gonna choose inkable or uninkable? It is up to you.